Any interactions with Shawn?
Yeah, I had an hour-long limo ride with him through London, England. I got flown to, they were doing TV in London. I got flown there kind of last minute because they put me on TV last minute. But, it's a foreign country, so there's papers that are involved. So it's not really as easy as just saying, yeah, fly to London. So they just hand me this packet at TV the week before. They say, hey, when you get to the border, just hand them this.
Sure. Okay.
This is going to go terribly, but sure,
Yeah.
Let's do it. So I get to the border, or the whatever you call it, the customs, and I this packet of papers. They look at this packet, they look at me, and they go, "Take a seat." So
they go, shh, they get the guns out.
Basically,
they get the rubber glove. They're like, we're searching this kid.
Yeah, basically. But they're like, go sit down. And I was like, okay. So I'm sitting there for probably, I don't know, a half hour, 40 minutes. And they're not even looking at me. And I'm like, oh, God, I'm just going to be stuck here all day. So eventually there's a tap on my shoulder, and it's Shawn Michaels. And he was like, hey, what do they got you sitting here for? I was like, they put me on last minute. So I just had to hand them all these papers. I guess they're probably going through them. I don't know, And he's like, all right, give me a second. He walks up to the desk, and they're all flocking because it's Shawn Michaels,
right?
And I see him motioning to me, and he gets done. He walks over to me in my seat. He just says, "Walk through with me." I stand up and I walk through with him.
Wow.
We get through. There's a limo driver holding one of those signs that says Michael Hickenbottom and Colin Delaney, and I was like, let's do it. So we got in the I say limo. It was like a nice black car,
No. When you tell the story, it was a stretch effing limo.
it was a nice car,
Yeah.
a nice black town car, and at the time, I got my digital camera. I'm taking pictures out the window because it's my first time in England. I'm a kid, and Shawn asks the driver, "Hey, how far is it to the hotel?" And they were like, "Probably about an hour with traffic." And he was like, "Oh, Colin, we got a lot to talk about." I was like,
Yes,
"You tell
sir.
me. You tell me. What do you want to talk about?" And he was like, "Tell me the Colin Delaney story." And so I explained to him how I got there and the whole story of it. And he was like, "So you never went to OVW?" I said, "No, sir." He's like, "You didn't go to Deep South, whatever? You didn't go to developmental at all?" I said, "No, sir." And he was like, "Do you know the amount of guys on the roster that never went to developmental?" I was like, I don't know. And he's like, "It's you, it's me, it's Triple H, it's Andre." And he starts naming all these names. And I was like, oh, yeah, I guess that is weird when you frame it like that. And then he was so gracious with his time. And I asked him all kinds of questions about, coming up with Marty and teaming and all this early stuff because I'm a wrestling nerd. So I wanted to know all this kind of stuff. And we just chopped it up for the whole drive there.
Dude, I remember doing TV, just having my bag. Me and I don't remember who they were, two other enhancement guys. We walk into a locker room, and this is right around WrestleMania 10 when he came back as the fake Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah.
We walk in, and it's just Shawn by himself. We're like, "Oh, we're sorry to bother you." He's like, "Guys, come on in, sit down. What are your names?" We talked to him for about an hour. He just talked to us about the wrestling, and he said, "Guys, my biggest advice to you is whether there's 10 people out there or 10,000, you always give the people their money's worth." Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what he said.
And you hear all these crazy stories throughout the years of Shawn being a dick to people. And I was like, man, I couldn't have had a further experience from that. He was nothing but super cool and super nice. And then, he would always, and then after that, he'd bust my balls at TV sometimes. Like when I took the, Umaga gave me a little spin guy, little catch power slam and just tossed me out and do a spin. And he was like, I thought you'd get more spins out of that one. I was like, I'll try next time, man. I'll try harder next time. He was like, all right, I believe.
Any interactions with Triple H?
Yeah, I mean, nothing really outside of like basic pleasantries. Even when I've gone back there and done extra work, he's always like, "Oh, hey, Colin, great to see you, man." We're like that, but nothing outside of that. Because I mean, even back in 2008, he was already, you know, thick into the thick of it. So it wasn't like he was just out chatting and broing out or anything.
Right.
I remember someone was telling me when they were like at an overseas tour, he would come out like they'd get to the bus in the morning, and guys like Triple H were like, "What'd you guys do last night?" I think it was Brian Kendrick, and he was like, "You would know if you came out, you nerds." Just the idea of telling guys like Triple H, like, "Hey, you're not gonna live off my stories. Come out next time."
That's funny. Paul London told me his initials and Triple H's initials are the same.
Oh, sure.
PL. So he said he was overseas one time and he got this like cabana like on the beach. Like it was like this and he's like, wow, the WWF is taking care of me here. Wow, this is unbelievable. Next day, Triple H is like, hey, London, how'd you like your room the other night? He's like, it's amazing. He's like, yeah, it was mine. It was cool, but he wasn't pissed. It wasn't Paul's fault, but they gave Paul
Yeah.
Paul, his Triple H's real name is Paul, his room. He said like Jimmy Yang like came to his room. It's like, what the hell? What's going on in here? And Paul's like, I don't know. This is the room they gave me.
Jimmy Yang was my boy too, man. Jimmy Yang's he's a fucking great dude.
Yeah,
Great fucking dude.
I've had him on the show. I've met Jimmy Yang. Actually, the first time I met Jimmy Yang was do you know Jerry the Wall? Jerry Cheedy,
No.
the Wall. You know who he is?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Wall. Yeah, at his
Yeah.
funeral, I met Jimmy Yang for the first time.
Jimmy's a dude. I love to see what he's doing with his daughter now. He's got his daughter coming out, traveling with her, and he's the best, man. He's the best. He was my travel buddy for most of my time in WWE.
Do you want to plug anything? Any social media?
So I'm as we've probably noticed, I am technologically
a tech guru. Sorry, go ahead.
Tech guru, and that extends to social media, which I'm also terrible at. But if you want to follow me, I'm at extremely cute on Twitter. Fun fact: the first tweet on the WWE Twitter account is about me. That's a fact. You can look it up.
Really?
The very first tweet they ever put out was something about Mark Henry destroying me randomly, ever on their whole account.
That's trivia.
Right. Yeah. In case you need that at trivia night. I'm extremely Colin on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook, but it's mainly my friends and family. So